Jeff Kemp. This is April 17th, and I'm here to interview Jim Kemp with his movie Veil of Secrecy. Jim, on Veil of Secrecy, how did you get the beginning on it when there was no beginning at first? The credits in the beginning.
The credits we did, the movie was made in 1978, and it was made by the speech class at Alexis High School. And actually, the movie was edited in 1978, but it was never put together in any form with any music. There was no sound until just this spring, in 1988, 10 years later. And to answer your question about the titles, we used a computer titling program for video tape programs, which I'll show you in a little bit. It's called the Video Title Shop, and it's kind of like a drawing program, but it's specifically for putting titles on videotapes.
Why is the movie called Veil of Secrecy?
The class, consisting of approximately 15 students, I suppose, named the film, and in fact initially we did most of the writing. As it started out, we were on our way to a speech contest in early spring of 1978, and everyone, it was on a Saturday morning, and everyone the previous night had watched the Creature feature on the Moline, Illinois television station, and somebody said, "Did you see that scary movie on last night?" It was called Night of the Living Dead, and no one had ever seen it before. And as it turned out, most of us had watched it the night before, and we talked about it that whole day, and what an unusual film that was. And Night of the Living Dead more or less inspired us to write Veil of Secrecy and to name Veil of Secrecy. If you notice, Kelly Winkler, the leading female actress, wears a veil across her face in a lot of the scenes.
And that makes a secret,
Yes.
so they cannot recognize her.
She's supposed to have an aura of being the mysterious woman. In fact, she's supposed to be a ghost or specter of some kind.
At first there was no sound. How did you get the sound on it?
Again, that wasn't done until 1988 either. We had to use our home video recorder, and first of all we timed, in terms of footage, we timed the film, and then we pieced together music that was appropriate for the different scenes, and we timed the different scenes, and we taped everything from individual sources to one master tape which matched the videotape, the silent videotape, and then we made a master tape of the entire video, dubbing in the sound on the audio track.
Okay. When, on the first scene, when you filmed those zombie people coming out of that room, how did you get that foggish side around?
Oh, I think that was kind of a cheap guerrilla tactic. We, as I recall, I think we used some cotton that we just kind of taped on the front of the lens of the camera to make it look foggy, I suppose, or hazy.
This morning, what were you actually doing down there that I heard?
Oh, I was previewing the film. I hadn't watched it for a while.
Tell me, what really is this movie about?
About? Well, it's about a lot of things. The process that went into the movie is part of what the movie is about. It's a film that was made on a very, very small budget. I doubt if we initially spent more than $50, I suppose, for film and developing and some odds and ends. And it's filmed on 8mm. So again, taking the theme of the horror story type of theme, putting in maybe a boy meets girl type theme or boy meets girl ghost type theme. We used the setting of the small town where the school is located, Alexis, Illinois, and we used the structures in the town as real sets in our film.
When that man that actually saw the ghost, when the zombies came in, or whoever you call them, dead people, after they devoured that man and he was laying on that table, after that, someone was in the graveyard walking like that, like a zombie or something. Who was that man?
At the end, what we were trying to show was that he'd been devoured, but then of course he came back to life as a zombie himself. I guess that was the idea. You notice the scene with the male lead, Marty Edwards, digging. That was actually, we had just built a house on Blaney Street at that time in this small town, and the yard hadn't been landscaped yet. There were piles of dirt in the backyard, and we needed to look like he was in a cemetery, so Marty got down on his knees with a shovel and was scooping up dirt, and I was on my stomach filming up, see? So we used a little creative, little imagination in how we approached the filming of the project.
On the end, on the credits, did you just get it in the same way as the beginning?
Yeah, really. That
but
was
a different scene.
a different scene, yeah. Each of the titles represents a different background scene, and then you have to identify the letters as an object, and then you define in your computer commands, you define what the object does. You can make it scroll